Hello and welcome to the first Talk Power podcast. My name is Kate Aldridge and I'm delighted to have with me Graeme Tucker, Sales Director of Power Control, and our special guest, Bessam Moutragi, CCO of Borri SPA. With over 80 years' experience in power systems, Borri SPA are one of the few genuine UPS manufacturers remaining in Europe, and our relationship with them extends over a decade. Graeme, can you start us off with an overview of the relationship?
Thank you very much, Kate. Yeah, absolutely. So, as mentioned, with me is Bessam, and as Kate mentioned, I'm Sales Director of Power Control. So just perhaps a brief overview of our relationship together between Power Control and Borri. Obviously, Bessam, you'll talk a bit more about Borri in a while as well, but just as an overview of Power Control was established in 1993. Or 1994, I can never remember which one it is. But Power Control has been a UPS reseller, established way back in the early 90s, and back in 1997 established itself as a UPS maintenance provider. So a long history in the UK, well over 25 years within the UPS market, and a lot of experience behind the company. So as regards Borri, it all started in 2007, where Power Control and Borri first entered a partnership. I remember it quite well, actually, going over to Italy. It was midwinter, flying over to Pisa. I remember driving over the Tuscany hills through the snow, trying to find our way down to Bibbiena to visit the factories for this first time. And as we'll go on a bit more in the podcast about the manufacturing of Borri, one of the things I remember impressed me when I first met the team at Borri and saw the factories was the established UPS technology, so traditional Borri business like petrochem side and industrial systems, as well as what was happening with the new UPS technology. Because about 15 years ago, the emergence of high efficiency UPS was coming into the market. Transformerless UPS systems were becoming more popular. So it's very interesting to see how Borri were, as well as keeping their traditional UPS manufacturing skill set and products, were also embracing the new high efficiency technology as well with the different products. And that was one of the things I remember always impressed me, the new products coming on and the traditional technical industrial units as well. So the relationship started with Power Control. We began reselling and maintaining the Borri UPSs from 2007, mainly within the UK market, as well as looking after some export accounts in Northern Europe. Borri became very well established in the UK. Obviously, a lot of Borri products have been in the UK for many decades under different brands, especially in the industrial and data centre side. But the Borri name was being established in the UK, and it had a very, very good start, introduction, and has continued to make a very good name for itself in various different markets, as well as the product developing through this time as well. So it's been a very good 14 years, nearly, partnership between Power Control and Borri. And perhaps yourself, Bessam, perhaps you can talk us through a bit more about the history of Borri and the developments happening at the moment.
Yeah, be glad to. Thank you, Graeme and Kate, for the introduction. And it's really nice that I can have the chance to give a brief history of Borri and what we do. And I reconfirm we're really, really proud to be in relationship with Power Control for, like you said, over 14 years. And it's been really, really a great relationship. But a little bit about Borri. I mean, Borri is a fairly old company. We're going to be 90 years old next year. We were established in 1932, so we're really coming up there. The company developed a lot over the years, and we started building, I think, initially chargers and DC systems, and started with UPSs in the 1970s. So it's been over 50 years that we're doing UPSs. The company was recently acquired by the Legrand Group, which is a French multinational on the French CAC 40 on the stock market. with a turnover about 6 billion euros. But we've been working with Legrand for the last 5-6 years, and so we have a lot of relationships with them, and we don't expect any major changes in the way that we work. We also have a lot of complementary markets and products with Legrand, both on the UPS side as well as the other electrical products that Legrand's do, like bus bars, racks, TDUs, and other equipment. That brings, of course, Borri a big financial strength, a lot more structured efficiencies, intercompany purchasing of components, much more R&D. Our R&D team at Borri was around 30 people. Now it's close to about 120 people with multi facets of firmware, software, compact modular UPSs, and so we're putting our strengths together to actually build better products and more innovative designs. But coming back to Borri, I mean, our strengths are still there. We won't change, and Borri is a company not only on commercial UPS, or what we call critical power UPS. Our tradition goes back, as I said, almost 50 years on UPSs, mainly starting on the industrial side. So still today, a big part of our business, over 60% of our business, is industrial UPSs, so custom designed, harsh condition industrial UPSs for power plants, oil and gas, airports, trains, utilities, or transmission lines. And very, very demanding customers, very, very demanding applications where the UPS has to work no matter what in 55 degrees C and dust and dirt and everything else that will throw at you.
A lot of your work is on the industrial side, is particularly in the Middle East. Borri carry out a number of projects.
Yeah, a big part of the growth in the last 30, 40 years has been the Middle East, but today we have businesses Africa, Nigeria, Mozambique, Australia, Chile, Panama, Argentina, Mexico. We recently set up organizations and subsidiaries in America, so we're doing a lot in America and Canada. We have a subsidiary in Malaysia. We're doing a lot in Korea, Japan, China. We're doing so. It's really worldwide.
Yeah.
But you're right. A big part of it goes back into the Middle East as well.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I bet your export manager's upset he can't travel to these exotic places at the moment.
yeah, that's really true. Traveling is a problem. But we still, thanks to all these new technologies backed up by UPSs and big data centers, we can talk to all our team customers online. And that's been a big part of our business. But Borri in itself, has always been very, very strong in R&D. As I mentioned before, we had 30 people. Now, of course, with the big group, we're much more. But even with the 30 people, we cover firmware, software, PCB design, of course, the powertrain design, mechanical, heat. So we do actually everything in-house. We also have our own PCB manufacturing, PCB design software. So we have to have that for our industrial business. And of course, this influence, this high-tech R&D team is the same team that does the critical power UPS. So it's a very, very strong technical with a lot of team with a lot of background. We're going to still be doing that. And with all that team, we were able to develop all these products that we have today. Transformerless products, the high-end, high-power modular UPS data centers where we go up to one UPS can go up to 2.6 megawatts. We also help to design all these, even the small units, the 10 kVAs and the single phases, and so it's a really, really wide product range that we have, and all in-house developed.
Yeah.
You use a lot of these products up to 800 kVA or 1 megawatts in your areas, I think, as well.
Yeah, we've so for us, particularly in the UK market, the Borri sort of commercial systems are very popular sort of on the contractor side and the small computer rooms and data centres. So obviously we're not going too much into the product detail today, but the Ingenio range, the mid-range, has proven very popular, especially over the last 5 years since it was launched, especially into the computer centre market as well. We have a lot of contracts and specialist applications in utilities and in the service sector as well, where the Borri product is very flexible, and particularly where customers are looking at more sort of high efficiency systems. The Ingenio in particular has been very successful with its high efficiency, but also I think because of the nature of the Borri units, and like you said, Bessam, the sort of history behind them, they're very capable in sort of semi-industrial loads, and where we do need the UPS for more of an industrial application. The traditional system like the B9000, which is a transformer-based system, but with it's very high efficient as well, works very well in that application. The healthcare market, the Borri is very well established brand within hospitals within the UK for backing up either hospital IT or hospital operating theatres within the infrastructure. That brand has been sort of developed within that market very well over the last 13 or 14 years. So yeah, those are the standard commercial products. As you know, we take some of the commercial products and we've used a lot of your industrial products as well for various different applications. Recently, we've been involved in and got contracts within the sort of energy renewable market, integrating UPSs into renewable energy sources like solar or hydrogen power or wind power coming in as well. That's been very exciting to see where that sort of side of the market is moving as well. So the Borri UPS is, as well as being able to utilise a standard UPS for a traditional application, obviously we've worked very closely with your R&D and a lot of projects over the years, and we've been able to, the product is very flexible for these different markets in the UK as well. And the data centre market, the Ingenio Max and obviously the new Ingenio XT, which will probably tell us a little bit about in a second, is a very flexible product for the modular, scalable side in the data centres as well, and that's been well introduced into that market. So yeah, it's quite as exciting as you can in the world of UPS. It's quite exciting to see the product development happening at the moment.
One of our strengths, and I think you touched on those points really well, is because we have a lot of experience in the industrial world. We have another 25, 30 system engineers who deal with, let's say, projects for power plants, industrial, so all the industrial side. And this team is also very skilled in modifying the UPSs and adapting it to the specific applications. So in between the industrial and the critical power, we would call it, we have a internal word that we use as a semi-standard or customized standard solutions. And there, what we do is we take the critical power solutions, as you said, and we can easily modify it slightly to adapt to a special application. I remember we did a great project with yourselves for the waterworks in the UK. Where we built an IP54 Genio plus 100 kVA, which was a great solution. It was a low cost, high quality, very simple solution that actually is working very well. But of course, today we're focusing more and more on large, high power, scalable or modular UPSs for data centers. We've taken, Borri in the past was very much involved in renewables. We did our own photovoltaic inverters, and we did a lot from that on how to build equipment with very high efficiency and to expand it in almost infinitively on power. And so we've taken all this know-how from renewables, industrials, and of course on the critical power, and we put them into products today like the Upsaver, which is a modular high-power UPS with very high efficiencies and using very special paralleling systems which eliminate a lot of circulating currents. The Ingenio Max XT, which is a scalable solution using modules of 250 and 300 kilowatts. It's a really flexible, cost-effective solution. And of course, the whole range of products you mentioned, Ingenio Max, which is a very high-tech product today, which is UPS up to 500 kVA that can pair up. So we're doing a lot. On the industrial side, I won't talk too much, but we're developing a lot of products there also for the industrial market. Smaller, cheaper, compactor, and much more, let's say, adaptable to the harsh markets as well.
Yeah, yeah. And tell us a bit more about the green conversion side technology that is available within the Ingenio product, because that's quite interesting, revolutionary, isn't it, for UPS?
Yeah, it's a interesting concept. It's a patented design that we put out a few years ago. It came out actually through a project that we had. We had a challenge from Eni, which was the large Italian oil and gas company, where they had a data center there, and they challenged us to build a data center UPS with 99.5% efficiency.
Wow.
And so we put that all together, and that, for your information, that data center today has the fastest industrial supercomputer in the world. So it's a really, really high-tech data center.
Yeah.
But the challenge was to find a way to keep the efficiencies at extremely high levels. We did that, and that's where we developed this green conversion. And today, it more or less it's a hybrid solution between the battery link and the inverter, handling actually increasing the efficiency of the system. So we were able to increase the efficiency on online double conversion much higher, keeping the battery actually on a, let's say, a standby state. And that way we actually did a double advantage. We kept the battery life much longer, and we increased the efficiency of the whole UPS. That project is still ongoing. We delivered it about 6-7 years ago, and they're very happy. Of course, 99.5% is not online. It's a mix between online and what we call a very high efficiency mode using the biomass as well.
Yeah.
It's a great thing because we use less components than a 4-level IGBT bridge. We use a 3-level bridge with this green conversion, so we have less components. It's more reliable, more efficient. At the end, it costs even less.
Yeah, and we've seen that over the, especially the last 3 or 4 years after installing these systems, particularly the energy savings customers have received as well. On a lot of sites, they've been able to show 15 to 20% energy savings over the UPSs, even transformer-less UPSs that they had in previously as well. So yeah, very impressive product with the technology as well. So perhaps just pulling it all together then, Bessam, what do we see for the future? What have Borri got in store for us, and how do you see the UPS market developing?
That's a good question. I mean, today...
Your crystal ball, please.
So, of course, together with Legrand, we really have a great potential developing products and using also the know-how of Legrand. Legrand is very strong in modular UPSs, and so we're looking more and more into building into that direction. I think already Power Control is working also with both, and I'm also involved in the business development of the Legrand products of the UPSs. So we're trying to find ways of working together to get better products, lower cost, higher efficiency. We're doing a lot today on environmental impact. So today on most of the new products we're putting out what we call eco passports, where we can show the customers what the environmental impact is of the manufactured UPS, and also what the recycling contents will be after the UPS is at end of life. We're doing a lot more on a global basis to make sure that our impact on the environment is also limited as much as possible. Of course, technologies, we're coming to points where our UPS today have 97% efficiency. So getting to 98, 99. There's not too much room closer. In the old days, it was 70, 80%. So it's easy to make big jumps into efficiencies. UPSs will be smaller, they'll be more compact, they'll be slightly more efficient, but like I said, not too much. I think a lot of technological changes are happening on the battery side, so lithium is becoming more important, and we're pushing very fast forward with lithium solutions. So all our products are lithium compatible, or most of them, not the small single phase yet. Most of the 3-phase products. And I think with power control, we really have a great partner as Borri, as Legrand, to develop and support your customers in the UK market, which today is a very important market for us globally. So we look forward actually to working closer and closer with yourselves and see how we can give the best service to your customers.
That's excellent news to hear, Bessam, and yeah, totally agree. It's nice have been able to offer a brand, like we said really at the beginning, that can offer the traditional UPS technology for those areas, but also cutting edge technology, particularly in the emerging data center markets and the modular segment of the market as well. So yeah, really appreciate your time going through this with us. Hopefully for the listeners, it's given you an insight into Borri and the technologies around it as well. So I think we'll be continuing with some more podcasts along the series and perhaps talking about UPS technology in a bit more detail as we go along, and also more product focused as well. But for now, I'd like to thank you, Bessam, for your time, and thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Graeme, and thank you, Kate. I hope the audience enjoys the forthcoming podcast, the technical podcast.
Yeah, thank you.